Today, we're going to show you how to make eggplant manicotti
with our own ricotta cheese recipe without any oil and no dairy. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Hi, my name is Audrey, and these are my sisters Trishonna and Emberly, and we're the Benton Sisters. Welcome to Food for Thought. We are so glad you have joined us today. Did you know that the Bible has a lot to say about our health? In fact, in 1 Corinthians 10, verse 31, we read, "Therefore, whatsoever ye eat, whatever you drink, whatever you do, do it all to the glory of God." And that is what we want to do on here, Food for Thought, is give glory to God by the food that we eat. Because remember, it not only affects the body, but our mind as well through the food that we eat. And today we have some exciting recipes that we want to share with you. Emily, what are we going to get started with first?
Well, let's read off the recipe. Okay, for the eggplant manicotti, you'll need 4 medium eggplant, 2 tablespoons of basil flakes, 1/4 of a cup of toasted pine nuts, 1/2 of a cup of frozen spinach, chopped and thawed, 1/2 of a cup of ground sesame seeds, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of Wonder flour, 1 cup of white jack cheese that we'll show you how to make. And also 4 tablespoons of nutritional food yeast, 2 packages of firm tofu, 2 to 32-ounce jars of pasta sauce, and 1 cup of fresh basil chopped, 1 medium onion chopped, 2 bulbs of garlic peeled and left whole, 1 cup of mushrooms. And for our jack cheese, you'll need 3/4 cup of cashews, 2 tablespoons of sesame seeds, 3 tablespoons of food yeast, 1 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of dill, 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice, 4 tablespoons of Ames kosher gelatin, and 1 cup of boiling water. So you just add all that to the blender. You blend it up until it's satiny smooth. And I know I mentioned dill. Dill can be optional. And just blend it up, and most of the ingredients you can find at your health food store.
And this is for the jack cheese, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Ames kosher gelatin, that's made out of carrageen bean or seaweed. It's not like Knox gelatin, which is made out of cartilage of bones of pig hooves and horse bones and cow bovine bones and stuff like that. And so we want to stay away from any animal products, and we're glad to know that you can still make Jell-O or firm up your healthy cheese with a gel process, which is from the Emmy's kosher gel, which is made out of seaweed or carrageen bean, which is more appetizing than bone pieces, huh?
Right. And also the nutritional food yeast, we use that in place of brewer's yeast, which brewer's yeast, yeah, is fermented, and so.
Yeah, I love the taste of nutritional food yeast. Much better. It has a nice cheesy flavor, and it's not as strong and sour as the brewer's yeast is.
And we try to stay away from, since that's fermented, we try to stay away from fermented things.
Right.
Okay.
Let's get started then.
Okay.
We chop the eggplant?
Let's go ahead and do the start with the eggplant.
Okay. Eggplant is very nutritious. It's high in vitamin A and B complex vitamins as well as vitamin C. Can you imagine eggplant having vitamin C in it?
Huh.
It's also has potassium, phosphorus, and calcium is also in eggplant. And it's a great source of fiber. And tastes delicious. Whatever type of if you want to make like patties for a sandwich or something like that, you can dip it in some breadcrumbs and bake it in the oven. We even have an eggplant lasagna recipe that we just love, that you don't have to fry the eggplant.
Okay, for ricotta cheese, Now this is the ricotta cheese, right? This is the tofu we use, Morinu tofu, and you should be able to find it in most grocery stores in the produce department. So we'll go ahead and add this to our bowl, and you can mash it up if you want.
Okay, I'm going to finish talking about the eggplant first.
Okay, when you're finished.
This is the size you want to do it. This is about 1/4 of an inch. You want to cut all yours 1/4 of an inch. Put in the water. This is to marinate it. You probably use like a tablespoon of salt. And you leave it in the water until the water turns brown, or for like 20 minutes. Just soak it in there like that.
Probably about 5 minutes.
And
5 minutes?
Yeah,
Okay.
5
now,
minutes.
what's the purpose of soaking it with salt?
The eggplant sometimes has a bitter flavor to it, and this gets rid of that bitter flavor.
So it kind of cures it. That's good.
Okay,
Good to
we'll just
know.
put this on the side for now. Let it soak.
Okay, and also we need another tub of tofu. And we'll go ahead and add it
Okay, and this is more new
to
tofu.
this bowl.
And this is firm tofu. I'll just start chopping this up.
And then we want to add our basil, dried basil, and you'll need a tablespoon.
Okay.
And then onion and garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder,
And this is the place of what?
Ricotta cheese.
Right. Okay.
and salt, garlic. Oh, I have garlic here. 1 teaspoon of garlic.
Okay. Do we put any of this in?
And we'll go ahead and add our Wonder Flour. You can use Wonder Flour or cornstarch.
Okay. Do we add all of it?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And then our nutritional food yeast. You can go ahead and add that.
Which gives it a wonderful cheesy flavor. And if you buy the brand that's Red Star nutritional food yeast, it also has B vitamins, especially vitamin B12, which is important if you're on a vegan diet to make sure you have enough B12 vitamin in your diet. And sometimes you might want to take a sublingual supplement, which is a kind that dissolves into your tongue, to make sure you get the added extra B12 in case you're missing out on it.
And you can get that without any dairy in it?
Exactly, at the health food store.
Okay, I'm adding the salt, and then we need to grind our sesame seeds.
Okay.
Let's take a look at the contents of all the different elements in cheese. Can you believe it? It's twice the amount of calories than a sirloin steak, and also has 6 times the saturated fat and more cholesterol and 4 more sodium. That is ounce for ounce, cheese versus sirloin steak. It's twice the amount of calories, 6 times the saturated fat, more cholesterol and far more sodium. And so, you know, we, as being vegetarians, my sister and I were raised lacto-ovo-vegetarians, which is meaning using milk and egg products, and we thought we were being healthy by sprinkling cheese on everything. But we didn't realize that it's worse than meat, ounce for ounce. And
Wow. That's
so-
amazing.
It is amazing. And so when you realize you can make a healthy substitute for your ricotta cheese, made with tofu, which is so good and nutritious for you, nice amount of protein in it, and you don't have to worry about having all the extra cholesterol and fat in your diet, which is just what we want to do. You also added spinach to that, didn't you?
Uh-huh. And then Audrey's going to go ahead and blend the sesame seeds.
Okay.
Once again, sesame seeds are very high in calcium. I think it is a tablespoon of sesame seeds has 11 milligrams of calcium in it. So it's very nutritious for us.
Okay, here we go.
And sesame seeds also give it that cheesy flavor. And doesn't that look just like Parmesan cheese? Doesn't that?
Mm-hmm.
We'll just mix that in. And then we want to also add our white jack cheese to this.
Don't want to waste any here? Okay.
Did you have something more to say on cheese?
Yeah, actually I do. I went to the store and I was looking around in the health food section at different types of cheese. A lot of people tell me, well, I know you can go to the store and buy tofu cheese. And so I thought, wow, we have a recipe and that we make that is really good. I was wondering if you could buy cheese that was healthy too. So I started reading the ingredients, and it's made out of organic soybeans from soybean curd, and has calcium caseinate. Calcium caseinate, do you know what that is? It says right in brackets, a milk protein. Milk protein, when you heard of the prion when it comes to mad cow disease, the prion is the protein. And so if you add milk protein to these so-called vegan cheeses, you're really defeating your purpose, in my opinion. Here's another one. It has milk protein, which is, it says dried skim milk protein added to it, caseinate. Another one called almond cheese. It has milk protein. Down here it says calcium caseinate. Sometimes it says casein and sometimes it says whey. Here's another one. It's got caseinate. It says a dried milk protein. And then another one I found, it says soy singles. And on the front it says 100% dairy-free and fat-free. And I read on the ingredients on the back, this one does not have any milk protein. So, but all the other ingredients that they put into it, it's got made out of soy beverage and filtered water and different things. So if you don't want to make it yourself, you can at least find one. Make sure you read the ingredients on the back. But one we really like is in our cookbook, and it's like you saw the recipe. You just blend it up, and then you put it in a container to let it firm up, and then you put it in the freezer.
Make sure you add boiling water so your Ames gelatin will activate.
And after it's frozen, you can grate it, and it grates up really nicely. And Audrey, you going to grate it for us now at this time so we can see what it looks like?
So it's firm like this in a block. It firms up after it sets up in the fridge, and the Ames helps it to set up.
You might think, this takes so much longer to make this than just buy it at the store, but if you take your time now to make cheese, it's better than staying in the doctor's office when you're sick, right? Better take time for health and disease. Okay, here we go.
Wow, I think that's a good replacement, don't you?
That looks like the real thing.
So
In
we
fact,
only need about a cup.
we call this the real thing. Everything else is fake, right?
That's about a cup.
So remember, read your ingredients. Just because it says it's, fat-free or dairy-free on the front, read the back to make sure it really is what it says it is.
Okay, what do you have over there in the skillet, Emberly?
Okay, over here I have our pine nuts we're going to add to our bowl there. And pine nuts give it a really delicious flavor. Oh, you have to have pine nuts. One time I tried it, and I used almonds instead, roasted almonds, and it was not the same. It was not the same. Okay, we're going to go ahead and add the pine nuts. And you want to roast them fresh. And we'll turn it on. And also in this pan we have fresh basil and our minced onion and garlic. And we're just going to add just a little bit of water to saute it in. We like to saute it in water instead of oil. And it works really good, just as good as oil does. And you don't have to use oil.
And that way you don't have to worry about coating your food with all that oil. Because food that's coated with oil is harder to digest.
Okay, now we need
you don't get as much nutrients out of it either.
Right. We need our baking dish. You have it down there, don't you? Oh, there it is. And we'll cover the baking dish with tomato pasta sauce on the bottom. And then I have some pre-cooked eggplant right here. And oh, we forgot to tell you how to cook it in the oven. You cook in the oven on 350.
That's after it's been soaked in salt water, right?
You cook it in the oven on 350. Make sure you spray your pan.
Cookie sheet? Okay.
For about probably 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, until it's tender. It's like cooking a vegetable,
Okay.
same way.
Now, what do we do here?
And we'll go ahead and take some eggplant, and we'll put some filling in it.
Now you come stand in the center.
Okay, you want to
here.
stir that?
I'll stir this.
That sounds good. And I'll get rid of that fork. You want to get rid of that fork, and I'll use a spoon.
So you cook them so that they'll be pliable enough to roll, so they won't crack on you, right?
Okay, and while we're rolling these, we could go ahead and make our salad. Okay. And let's read off the salad recipe.
Sure, I'll read it off. Okay, first we have Blue Moon dressing. 1 package of morinu tofu, that's the firm kind, 1/2 cup of water, 1/2 cup of lemon juice, 1/3 cup of sesame seed butter or tahini, 2 teaspoons of salt, 5 cloves of garlic, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, and 1 teaspoon of dill. That's a wonderful dressing. It's kind of like blue cheese, right?
Yeah, it's so delicious.
And is that what we're making now, the dressing?
Uh-huh. Okay, you want to go ahead and
Finish
mix that
rolling
up
these
there,
up?
and I'll get a blender
All
out.
right, no problem.
And we'll add our tofu to the blender. And
These are cooking up nicely over here.
These would be neat for, can you freeze these ahead of time, Emberly? Make these up and freeze
yeah,
them
it
ahead of
freezes
time?
really good.
I think didn't we do this for a wedding?
We had these in, for a wedding menu, didn't we?
Uh-huh.
And
They
it
were
turned
really
out
good.
wonderful. Just so elegant and delicious. And it's healthy for you, too.
So I'm adding the tofu to the blender, and then I'm adding sesame tahini, which is sesame seed butter, and I need a spoon. And then we'll throw in some garlic. Garlic is really good for you.
I don't have a spoon, but how about a little spatula?
Oh, that'll work good. And then we just need enough water to blend. And Audrey, I think you have the water over there.
Right here. This recipe is our family's favorite recipe. It's really good.
And then we just need a little bit of lemon juice.
Okay.
Let's see, how much lemon juice? 1/2 cup of lemon juice.
Do you need a measuring cup?
Are you
Probably
kidding?
half-
Emberly
well,
is so good.
Probably 1/2 cup. That might be 1/2 cup.
Just make sure when you do it, you measure it. Right?
Yeah.
The first time.
Okay, we had enough water to blend, and then we need some dill. Let's see, where's the dill? I'll add the salt while you find the dill.
Okay, it's
And
right
2
here.
teaspoons of dill. I don't have a measuring spoon. Oh, here's a measuring spoon. One thing you have to measure the salt. I don't like to just dump the salt in. That one's too hard to be accurate on. Okay. And then we'll just sprinkle in some dill. This recipe is so good. Yum. And it's very easy too.
And just think of all the calcium you're getting from the tahini, which is sesame seeds, and a complete balance of protein from the tofu, and no saturated fat or cholesterol. And so good.
Okay, we'll go ahead and
It
whiz
almost
it.
tastes fattening.
Yeah, it's yum. It's really good. And then we'll just pour it in here.
Now you just add enough water to blend.
Uh-huh. Doesn't that look good? And that was just done with tofu. Tofu is really blah, I know. But
It's like your base.
if you season it, put a lot of seasonings in it, it tastes really good.
Okay. Your veggies over here, I'd say done.
Okay, we'll go ahead and mix that in with the tomato sauce.
And this
Well,
here?
the pasta sauce. Yeah, go ahead. And then I'll get the salad makings out and make the salad.
Did you want the pine nuts in here also?
Wow, that is so colorful. Look at all of that color. We have here kale and cucumbers and carrot, bell peppers, tomatoes, garbanzos, olives, what's that, pinto beans, and artichoke hearts. Plus I see you have flowers in here. Is that what I see? And sesame seeds over here on this side. Man, that is so colorful.
Do you want the these in
Go
here,
ahead
pine
and,
nuts?
and set our plate setting.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and mix it in with that. And actually,
Did you know kale is very, very nutritious for you? It is rich in calcium. Also, it is rich in iron and beta-carotene, and is a good source of fiber, potassium, and vitamin C. I didn't think kale had vitamin C in it, but it does.
huh.
Also, it's a member of the cruciferous family of vegetables. What are you doing here? Putting the tomato sauce on?
Uh-huh.
It's a member of the cruciferous family of vegetables, which is, it's the cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, and things like that, which are aid in fighting cancer, which is really good to know. So here we have this beautiful purple kale, and you're going to make a salad out of it. Is that right?
Uh-huh. Let's see, I need a knife.
Over there. Oh, right here. I'm sorry.
Thank you. And we'll go ahead and put some lettuce down on our plate.
Kale is also known to help lung congestion and aid in stomach and the digestive tract. And so we don't often eat kale. I know some people put it as decorations in their yard, in their gardens and stuff like that, but we need to eat it and have it in our diet so we get all those wonderful nutritional benefits from the kale in our diet.
And sprinkle on, just use all your favorite goodies. Use olives, and we have, help me out here. Garbanzos and kidney beans. And then we have hearts of palm. No, this is artichokes.
And these artichokes here have no oil in them and no vinegar.
You can buy them in a can,
Just
which
with
is
water.
Yeah.
Water and salt.
Now, what's wrong with vinegar? Tell
Vinegar,
us.
actually, did you know vinegar is used to prep aluminum so you can paint it, to etch it? And you think if it's that strong for aluminum, what does it do in your body? Well, it actually goes through the lining of your stomach, bypassing digestion and ferments in the bloodstream, breaks down your immune system, destroys the B vitamins and also vitamin C. And so you don't want to have vinegar. Switch to lemon juice instead. It's much better for you. And does the same thing as far as taste-wise, in my opinion, as vinegar does.
And then you can sprinkle on nuts.
These are sunflower seeds, and it's always best if you roast them fresh.
And then look at this beautiful kale. Kale is so good for you. And just, of course, you want to add some kale to that. And then, of course, you want to add your salad dressing. You put just a little bit of salad dressing on here.
Yum.
And then, you know what? I think we should put just a couple of those on this plate and have some garlic butter to go with it.
Now, garlic butter, this is a wonderful recipe that we have in our cookbook, but we don't have time to show it today.
Yeah, I
do
wish
we
we had time to make it for you, but it's really easy to make.
Tell us exactly what's in it anyways. Isn't there cornmeal in this butter?
Well, maybe we can read off the recipe for you real quick. Recipe is, this is your Love Your Heart butter, and you'll need 1 cup of cornmeal mush. To make your 1 cup cornmeal mush, you'll need 1/4 of a cup of water and a cup of cornmeal, and 1/2 of a cup of cashews, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1/3 of a cup of coconut milk, and 1 teaspoon of butter flavoring. So, and we'll go ahead and cut this open
Now,
and
all
spread
those
on the butter.
ingredients you blend in the blender until it's nice and satiny smooth. And of course, you want to blend it while your cornmeal is nice and hot. That way, when the cornmeal cools down, it will all firm up in your container when you pour it in your container like we did with it here. And it actually spreads. Watch how this looks. This is like if you wanted to have your French garlic bread toaster and put your butter on there. And in fact, you could even blend up garlic with your butter and make garlic butter.
Doesn't that
out
look
of it.
good? And this is some really yummy, healthy bread that you can buy at the health food store, and all good ingredients.
Or you can make your own.
Your own bread.
Yeah.
And we'll be showing you how to make bread on another program. And here's some parsley. I like to sprinkle parsley on my bread, makes it look pretty, and paprika. And where's the paprika? Here it is. And sprinkle paprika on here. Come out. There it goes. Doesn't that look pretty?
Eye appeal is very important. You know, they say digestion begins in the stomach, but it actually begins with the eyes
I
and
would
the
say so.
nose. Because when you see it and it looks so good and you smell it and it smells delicious, that's where the digestion really begins. And then when you taste it and it tastes just like it looks and smells, you got a wonderful meal. This is something that definitely will give glory to the Lord. And
then we just scoop on our, let's see, I'll just go ahead. Oh, here it is. And you want to bake this in the oven. It's not baked right now, but you want to bake it in the oven for about Probably for half an hour on 350.
Now, if you wanted to sprinkle that with cheese, you could use the same cheese that we mixed up in the...
Here's some cheese.
Oh, there you
Put
got
a little
it.
bit of cheese on there.
That's the cheese that we made from the cookbook, huh?
Uh-huh.
That looks delicious.
And the cheese melts really good, too.
Isn't that beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we're told we're supposed to have about, 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day? Well, if you have this salad, you got how many servings of different types of vegetables in there? Several different types of
Yeah.
vegetables. If you have a plate full of salad at the beginning of your meal, you are able to eat more of the salad than if you had your entree first and then try to eat salad afterwards. It's just harder to eat as much. Don't you find that true?
Look at all this live food here. Live food for live people, right?
That's right. And we want to eat as much of the fruits and vegetables as possible because this is where we have our antioxidants and cancer-fighting agents to promote good health and the health of our body, mind, and soul. And so remember to have your salad first at the beginning of the day, of your meal, and have a big one. And also the salad dressing, our ranch
On this
and
blue
this
moon.
Blue moon dressing. We have ranch dressing and also a blue moon dressing. It's like your blue cheese dressing, only it's better because it doesn't have any blue cheese in it. And it's really good for us
Love
too.
your heart.
And that way you can have a dressing on your salad where you don't have to worry about counteracting the effects of eating your salad by putting a fattening dressing over the top of it. And then our entree is got healthy vegan cheese on it and
And our butter over here.
the butter, and it's just
Non-dairy,
wonderful.
and it's all non-dairy.
Wonderful to know that you can eat all your old favorite foods without those heart attack ingredients and not be compromising with the looks and the flavor and the taste, which is flavor, right? But have all the foods and do it to the glory of God. May God richly and abundantly bless you as you begin to adapt new recipes and experiment in the kitchen making healthy food for your family. Healthy food that says, I love you. That's what we want to do, right?
Yes.
Hope to see you again next time. Bye-bye.